On DC Music Rocks, we're shining a spotlight on the great songs and incredible people behind the DC region's music scene. So now we get to know Gabi from Vim Vigor. So Vim Vigor is an ensemble indie pop band turning folk, apparently, from Washington, D.C. They produce a sound that is unique and earnest with rich harmonies and layers of instrumentation all bundled together. Vim Vigor is a band full of team players, so they're often switching leads on vocals and instruments. I was talking with Gabi. She said that was on Going, Going, Gone. She sings on that one, but not all the tracks. They're different vocalists on all their songs, and I love that about the band. Gabi is a rhythm guitarist and vocalist. Sarah is the vocalist, guitarist, banjoist, and percussionist. We've got PJ, who's a vocalist and a keyboardist. Alex is the bassist, and Adam is on drums. And in addition, Tiffany joins in on violin on some occasions. And Vim Vigor released their debut self-titled EP in 2016, which is that song Going, Going On you just heard. So I first came across these guys because I'd seen them around the scene, and I played in the same Battle of the Bands with them back in January and loved their sound. And now it's just such a treat to actually have you here on the show with me, Gabi. So thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
This is such a treat. So now, talk about the band. How did it come together? Where did Vim Vigor come from?
I think we came about. It's a story of how everything is just such a small world. Because it turns out the keyboardist PJ started a music project with his fellow classmates. He was in grad school at GW, and so he just started a band, and he knew that I sang and played guitar, so he asked me, and we knew each other from Scranton, Pennsylvania. We're both originally from Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So when I go down the stairs, because it was in a basement, for the first practice, I not only see PJ and his two classmates, the drummer and bassist at the time, but I also see the guitarist, who's also from Scranton, and somebody I grew up with, the same neighborhood. So it was just really funny. There's three of us from Scranton in DC.
And you didn't know that the third guy was going to be there?
I didn't know that he was going to be there. I was just like, what are you doing here?
And who was the third guy?
His name's Brendan. He left the band a little while ago just to pursue other opportunities, but he's very much still a part of our family. So
he's part of the Scranton family, so
part of the Scranton family.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and so at the same time that they were kind of starting their project, I had been playing with a friend of mine, Sarah Moore, here in Arlington area. So we started at Four Courts right on Wilson Boulevard.
Yeah, and Courthouse, that place. Cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty much how it got started.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it all came together. I love it. And the name, where does Vim Vigor, the name, come from?
Right. So the drummer and his wife, Tyson, came out to see Sarah and I play a show at Four Courts. And it was kind of, I think, kind of like a tryout to see if we were actually, good enough to be a part of
a tryout? Oh my God! And Tyson, you were a part of that too. If you're listening, that's amazing. Yeah. Okay.
So I think we made it, and
well, you're here, so that's a good sign. Uh-huh.
And so his wife Nino was basically just describing us, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, they're so energetic and enthusiastic when playing." So she kind of dubbed us Vim Vigor, and it kind of just stuck. And we've kind of taken that meaning just to be super energetic, and not every song that we play is positive, because Going, Going, Gone's, has some sad moments, but I think we've turned it into meaning something hopeful. So I think that's what Vim Vigor is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, and if you haven't seen them live, I've seen them live, and there is definitely Vim and Vigor happening on stage when these guys are playing live. That's for sure. Now, what about you on the personal side? So when you're not doing music, who's Gabi?
Who is Gabi? Well, I work for PBS, so I am a project manager, and I love movies and going to watch movies anytime I can, and that's pretty much it. I mean, the band is definitely a second job, for sure.
Oh,
so
definitely.
It takes up a lot of time.
Got it. And now, are you also a yoga person, or are you a member of a book club, or what's other hobbies or things besides
I like to run. I can't say that I'm a good runner, but I definitely run.
Okay.
Often. I recently signed up for a half marathon with my sisters, and my sisters are very good runners. So I think that's going to be a challenge, but I committed to it and I paid for it. So
How long do you have until the half marathon?
it's in September, so I have some time. But yeah, got to kick it into gear. So we'll see.
There it is. 13.1 miles. Wow, look at you go. All right, running. And hopefully you're not running from anything. You're running for fun.
I'm running to better my life. Let's just say that.
I love it. I love it. All right. So now talk about, there's 6, possibly 7 of you on stage. Talk about like a funny moment. What's the funniest moment that comes to mind when you think about the band?
I think Sarah is awesome because she can feed off the energy of the crowd and the song, and she'll just start kind of like jamming on a moment and kind of just go with the bassist and dance with him a little bit, and she just keeps everyone on her toes. So I think Sarah just really keeps things lively, and you know, every show is kind of a new experience because she just kind of like, I don't know what she's gonna do. Who knows?
And has she ever done anything like absolutely wild in these?
I think a couple times she's tried to go into the crowd, but she was limited by the cord.
So she had a leash. It had
Yeah,
to keep her
she
on
did.
stage. All right,
Leash, yeah.
Sarah, you were leashed. I'm sorry. They strategically keep the length of the cord the appropriate
It's
length so you can't run
purposeful.
away.
Correct.
So I think you should just go get a wireless set and really mess with them one day.
Oh, man.
That would be wild. I'd love to see Sarah on a wireless setup. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So, all right, now what about biggest success moments for the band so far? What comes to mind?
So I think we love it when, and not to say that this happens all the time, but it's happened a few times where there'll be people that we don't really know, close friends of ours, singing our songs or singing lyrics from our songs or really just jamming out and being like, oh, I saw you guys last week or something like that, and coming up to us and just really paying attention to our original music because we play covers and originals as well. So when people that we don't know say something about us with our original music, it's awesome. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Now, talk about a time that you tried and failed. What comes to mind?
Well, I mean, I think every show,
Oh, stop it. You do not fail at your shows. What?
Well, I will say this. One time we had a show at Iota, which is down the street, I believe.
Yeah.
It's a great venue. We had a new song. We had a cover of Come Together by the Beatles.
Oh, nice.
And we didn't have that much time to practice it. And, we just kind of made a last-minute decision to just go for it. And I think we bombed it. It was, we just kind of, we couldn't just,
what does that mean? The wrong notes? You just missed
just the timing, timing and cues, and there's some chord changes, because we always try to switch up our covers and make them our own.
Yeah.
And we wanted to do an interesting jam in the middle, but we just kind of forgot what each of us were supposed to do, and it was just bad. So we failed. But you know what? We still play that cover out, and I think it's getting better.
And now you rock it. So next time you go to a Vim and Vigor show, make sure you request Come Together by the Beatles.
Exactly.
Because that's going to be a good one. And I heard them do Michael Jackson once. That was awesome, too. Ask for that one, too. All right. Now, what's something in your music collection that might surprise us?
So I feel like we have such a mix of influences, and one thing that I am pulling for is to do a musical night.
Musicals, like singing, like
Yeah.
Broadway musicals?
Yes.
Musicals?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So like I said, we do a lot of covers. I think that's a part of any local band is doing cover shows, and we love them. It's really fun to play stuff that people know. But I mean, PJ and I are pretty enthusiastic about musicals, so I think just it's a matter of time before we get the rest of the guys on board, and I think it's gonna happen. So
okay.
I think
And
we should
what's
watch
the
out for it.
first song that comes to mind when you think about, I want to do a musical song?
It'd be amazing if we could do Elephant Love Medley by, or from Moulin Rouge.
Oh my.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
don't know if you're familiar.
So if you're listening, well, I remember the Elephant Love Medley vaguely. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go YouTube this or Google it afterwards so I can check
pretty
that out.
epic.
And then the
So-
next time I come to a Vim and Vigor show, I'm gonna make requests and put the band on notice.
Sounds good.
I love it. Now, what about you, Gabby? Where does music enter your life? How did you become a musician?
So my brother, when I was younger, he started playing music, when I was really young. He's about 5 years older than I am. And I was a huge copycat and just, thought he was the coolest guy ever, and he is. And and so I just copied him. So I was like, I need to learn guitar and stuff like that. So I started playing when I was in freshman year of high school. And he taught me my first song, which was a Dave Matthews song. And
Which one?
Lover Lay Down, because you essentially just played 2 strings at a time.
Okay.
So it was pretty easy. So yeah, that was the first song I learned, and ever since then I started playing with like a high school band. Like we had like a folk group in the high school. So ever since then it just happened, and I just loved to write and play out, and kind of just evolved from there.
And it all went back to Dave Matthews and your brother.
It
That's
did,
amazing.
yeah.
I love it. All right, well, shout out to Bro. Thanks for doing what you did, because now we got Gabby here and Vim and Vigor as a result. So what a cool story. One of my favorite questions to ask is always, if you could offer one piece of advice, what would it be?
So I think an issue or a challenge that the band comes across a lot is finding time to keep this going. Because we're all full-time, or we all have full-time jobs. And, it's a lot of time, a lot of effort going to practices and all that stuff. So I say, just find the time, because it's worth it. I mean, if it's something that you really love, we have such a blast doing it. And even though it's exhausting sometimes, it's awesome. So
Find the time. Don't give up. Keep working on it.
keep going.
I dig it. Keep going. Now, and if people want to find out more about Vim and Vigor and follow you guys, where do they go?
So you can go to our Facebook, / Vim and Vigor Music. You can go to our website, vimandvigormusic.com. And we have an Instagram, Vim and Vigor Music, and a Twitter. But mainly all of our info is on the Facebook and website, and you can find all of our upcoming shows, media, any videos that we'll have, it'll be there.